Merab Dvalishvili has been pushing for a rematch with Sean O'Malley, but he says the reason why he's doing that is because that's what Sean O'Malley wants, citing a DM between him and O'Malley where O'Malley's asking him to push for the rematch. But it won't happen anytime soon. O'Malley's going into surgery next week. This fight was a unanimous decision victory for Merab, so there's really no need for a rematch right away. Merab can take on Umar, and when O'Malley is back, he can take on Santig, that'd be a fun striking matchup we have not seen yet. Another fun striking bantamweight matchup this weekend, Jose Aldo versus Mario Batista. Aldo looked great in his last fight against Jonathan Martina, and Batista looked tremendous in his last fight against Ricky Simone. Aldo's hands look great. He abandoned his leg kicks over the years. He used to be the king of leg kicks, but Batista's leg kicks to the calves have been tremendous lately, so it's going to be an interesting chess match on the feet. The official backup for this fight, Topuria versus Holloway, is Diego Lopez. That's UFC 308 next month. They better have a backup for Whitaker versus Chimaev, because you never really know what might happen to Hamzat, but that's number 3 versus number 11 in the middleweight division with potential title implications. Since Conor's been calling out Bilal Muhammad, Bilal has a response for him.
So Conor, you want to fight me? You want to fight me? Bully me? Me? You want to meet me in the cage? Bully? Let's go, bro. Anytime. Send location, bro. Send location.
Also in the welterweight division, on December 7th at UFC 310, it's Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin in Las Vegas. Chiesa's coming off that choke win over Tony Ferguson. Max Griffin's coming off a split decision win over Jeremiah Wells. This UFC Macau card, November 23rd, will have a different start time. 4 a.m. Eastern time is when the prelims begin. Janacy Dubin wins Knockout of the Month for her one-hitter quitter over Shannon Clark on the Contender Series. She's 6-0 now, and all of those victories are via stoppage. Tracy Cortez didn't forget the trash talk Eileen Perez had for her when she missed weight. Wow, you really had to cut your hair to make weight. You were gifted an amazing opportunity to be a main event versus a former UFC champ, and you barely made it. LOL. But now Perez missed weight, so y'all won't catch me talking shit on here, social media, but oh my, how the tables have turned. LOL. The OnlyFans will help you with that 20% deduction. Perez was fined 20%, but her fight goes on with Daria Zhelezhnikova. Conor McGregor says he weighs between 185 and 190 pounds, but Jared Gordon says every 155er does. Jared Gordon's coming off a loss to Nasrat Haqparast in June. Irene Aldana looks like she's healed up from that horrendous cut she sustained from Norma Dumont a couple weeks back. Carla Esparza's retirement fight will be next week against Tisha Pennington. That's UFC 307, October 5th in Salt Lake City, Utah. Esparza is the first women's strawweight champion in UFC history. She won that after winning the Ultimate Fighter and beating Rose Namajunas. The prelims are headlined by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Joaquin Buckley. Almeida versus Potieria will also be an interesting middleweight contest earlier on the card. PFL Glasgow is also happening this weekend. It's headlined by Stevie Ray versus Lewis Long. Also on the card is Robert Whiteford versus Roger Huerta at 150 pounds. Huerta was a former UFC poster boy, the first MMA fighter to ever be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Huerta has lost his last 4 fights, the last coming in 2021 in Bellator against Chris Gonzalez. The other 3 were also in Bellator. He lost to Sydney Outlaw, Patricky Pitbull, and Benson Henderson. Henderson did pretty good in this boxing tournament earlier this month, defeating Chris Avila but then losing to Idris Virgo, going 1-1 on that night. The aforementioned Sydney Outlaw just won tonight against Dan Moret via submission in the first round in XFC 51. Also on that card, former UFC fighter Ronnie Marks picked up a first round TKO victory. Mark Hunt is very supportive of Devin Haney's lawsuit against Ryan Garcia. Good job to sue that little cheating C. Too many scumbags on these sites are condoning these cheating Fs. Hunt is very vocal about being anti-PEDs, particularly had tremendous disdain for the UFC when they set him up against Brock Lesnar. Kelvin Gastelum praises referee Mark Goddard as being hands down the best in the game by a landslide. This comes after Goddard says Israel's fight with Gastelum is the best he's ever refereed and admits that he cried after the fight. 9 French fighters on the card this weekend, including in all of the last 6 fights. Saint Denis is a favorite in the main event. Imavov is the favorite in the co-main event. Gomi is an underdog. Jusset is an underdog versus Brian Battle. Charrier is the favorite, and Ziem is a slight favorite over Matt Frivola. Kind of flying under the radar is Brendan Allen talking about how he had to do multiple blood and urine tests after weighing in, but the French Commission didn't make his opponent do that, and he said the French Commission also didn't make Benoit Saint Denis do that, but they made his opponent Hanato Moicano do that. Dustin Poirier says he's down to do a one-night tournament for the BMF Championship with Max Holloway versus Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. Max Holloway's BMF title will not be on the line next month against Ilia Topuria, something Topuria wanted and said he wouldn't fight Max without that condition, but he changed his mind. Maria Agapova made her pro boxing debut tonight in Atlanta, Georgia. It was an entertaining contest with Nicole Schaefer, which ended in a unanimous draw. Baumgartner versus Pursoon was the main event of that card. It ends in a no contest due to accidental headbutt before the completion of 4 full rounds, so as a result, it's a no contest. Roman Dolidze training with Sean Strickland leading up to his fight with Kevin Holland next weekend in Salt Lake City, Utah. Strickland's also training with Alex Pereira leading up to his main event fight that night against Khalil Roundtree. Strickland not enjoying his time in Utah as much as he thought he would. Salt Lake City kind of a shithole. I thought it would be filled with uptight Mormons, but instead liberals and crack zombies. 6 days after that show, UFC 307, Karate Combat's doing their show KC 50, also in Salt Lake City. Kevin Lee and his opponent have an intense stare down at the weigh-ins for Lights Out Fighting Championship in Wayne, Indiana. They fight Saturday night. His opponent is Thiago Oliveira, who has a record of 17-12. Then Lee is scheduled to fight in November against Sal Almeida. That's November 15th in Biloxi, Mississippi. That card is headlined by Brandon Davis versus Randy Costa. Those two fought in the UFC. Brandon Davis won that one. Ryzen also doing the show this weekend. Juan Archuleta will be kicking off the main card. Conor McGregor expected to be in attendance at the BKFC show in Spain next month. That's Saturday, October 12th in Marbella, Spain. Bilal Hassan improves to 4-0. He'll probably be in the UFC or Contender Series soon.
What's going on, you guys? My name is Bilal Hassan. I just won the vacant CFFC flyweight title of the world. I am the UFC Fight Pass Fighter to Watch of 2025. Let's go, baby.